Miss Tracy is here today in our Wake the World Up kitchen. Let's go check out what kind of tasty treats she's cooking up today.
Hi friends, we're back for a summertime baking segment, and I get to spend a little bit of time with you today sharing one of my favorite summer recipes. I got this recipe from my sister and she's tweaked it a little bit. She makes this really good, and so she gave me the recipe and I often make it now for my family. It really doesn't have too many ingredients. It has flour, oats, brown sugar, salt, an egg, and butter, and baking soda. So we're gonna go ahead and get going. The reason I love this recipe is I don't have to get my mixer all set up and ready to mix it up. I can just throw it in a bowl and mix it with my hands. It has less cleanup then, and Miss Tracy's all about baking, but I don't enjoy the cleanup always. So that's another reason that I really love this recipe. So we're gonna measure out 1.5 cups of flour. I have a 1/4 cup, so I'm gonna have to do that twice because 2 quarters make a half. So with this one, because I'm mixing it with my hands, I always start with my dry ingredients first, and then we add the wet ingredients, which is your butter and your egg. So to the flour, we're gonna add 2 cups of oats. And for the oats, you want to use the quick cooking oats. You don't want to use the regular cook oats. You want the quick cooking oats. Next comes brown sugar, and that is 3/4 cup brown sugar. So again, I have a 1/4 cup. So if it's 3/4, I'm gonna use 3 of those. Then to that, we're gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. I'm just gonna measure that up. And then to that, we're gonna add a teaspoon of salt. And my sister always tells me to add a little bit extra salt. So once I get the teaspoon in, I always add a little bit more, just like she says. Here we go. So these are our drier ingredients where I'm gonna mix it with my hands. Get those incorporated really well. And then right on top, we're gonna do our butter. It's 3/4 cup of butter. And you want it really softened. You don't want the butter to be hard, cold and hard from the fridge. You want it to set out and get soft. And what I do is I use this paper to butter my dish, because you want your dish to be greased before you add all your ingredients to it. I'm using a throwaway pan here, but at home I usually use a glass pan, a baking dish, a 9x13. And then last but not least, we do 1 egg. And one thing I want to tell you about this recipe, Miss Tracy always cracks her eggs into a separate dish so I don't get any shells. Yeah, I'm good, no shells. Egg goes in. So one thing I want to tell you about this, I'm gonna pull this in closer to me here, is this recipe is yummy, but it's even yummier the day after you make it. So if you can make it the day before you actually really want to consume it, that's even better. There's something about all the ingredients coming together, and then that egg inside makes it super moist. So you want to keep mixing until you get a pretty good looking crumbly mixture. And as soon as I kind of get it into like a mixture like this, I know it's ready to go. And when it's all ready, I'm going to take half of this mixture and put it into my baking dish. that's gonna form the bottom crust of our cherry crumble. Okay, here we go, friends. Let me pull this over a little closer. It doesn't have a ton of sugar in it. The cherries are nice and sweet and add a lot of sweetness. So you can see I'm just kind of pushing it all together to form a little crust at the bottom. Okay, friends, so here we go. Our crust, bottom crust is all ready to go. See how it looks in there? So here we go, friends. We're gonna add our cherries, and you do the whole can. You spread them out. And I try to make sure that the cherries are kind of spread out evenly too. Sometimes they don't want to move. You might have to take your finger, and there's the cherry mixture. Now, the last thing is we take the rest of our crumble and we sprinkle it all over the rest of the mixture here. And then it's all set to go. It'll look like this, and you put it into a preheated 400-degree oven and you bake it for 30 minutes, and it gets nice and golden brown. Now, I told you, you really want to make it the day before you want to consume it, so I made one at home last night, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. Ta-da! Here it is. And it's just something about that egg. It's nice and golden brown, and it's super moist and gooey and delicious. So I hope you enjoy it. It's a great dessert to put with a little bit of vanilla ice cream or some whipped cream. I hope you enjoy, friends, and have the best summer ever. Bye-bye.